Hi there traders, welcome to Elite Currency. My name is Chris. Today's video is all about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin included, gold and silver, and some stock indices. Very interesting price action the last week, so a lot of good info to review. Let's get started. Alright, let's kick off the webinar with Bitcoin daily chart, Bitcoin versus the US dollar. And of course, Bitcoin has been in a strong downtrend or retracement, depending on how you look at it, for a while, ever since mid-December, and price has reached actually 5,800. Very big discount compared to the almost 20,000 a month before that. Now, price is making a rally. We already discussed that. The first bullish pin bar here could be the starting signal for a basically bullish bounce, and whether that bullish bounce translates into a new uptrend or whether price remains in a triangle or even makes a new lower low remains to be seen. It depends on how price will respond in the 21 EMA zone here between basically 9,200 and 10,600. You can see that we had previous bottoms, of course, as well, besides the EMA's previous tops as well, and the long-term moving average. So far, we've had lower lows and lower highs. We had a clear lower low, a lower high, lower low, and lower low. So the question is, will this be again a lower high, or are we going to see basically price make a higher low? First of all, I think we really need to see price make this higher low and then break for a higher high before we can say that price is in an uptrend. All right, that's of course obviously part of the theory of trends: lower lows, lower highs, or higher highs, higher lows. So what I would expect for price to do is still respect this zone, make a little bit of a turn here. I'm not sure how much this turn will be, whether it's going to be a slow bull flag or whether price is going to make a sharper ABC. But anything that stays above this bottom would be considered a higher low. Could be a fundamental kind of part of a reversal to the upside, because then price would need to break above this resistance trend line, and then we're probably in a bullish breakout and we'll probably get that higher high and we'll be probably in an uptrend. Of course, there's always the chance that price hits this zone and starts to fall and keeps falling, and we have a new lower low, and we're back to ground zero in a way, for those that are looking at least for an upside continuation, because then this whole kind of scenario has to play out again. We need to have, again, a bounce, a move down, a lower low, and an upside, which in that case could be an inverted head and shoulders, by the way. All right, we don't have that potential as yet. Maybe this level, but that shoulder is quite far from the head. All right, so that's not typical for a head and shoulders as yet. So I'm not 100% sure we're going to get that high, that uptrend as yet, and we might get one more lower low just for the divergence and for the head and shoulders pattern. It's possible. So that's why this is still a very kind of risky zone, and there could be some bearish pressure there. Of course, if price breaks above that, and then we see kind of a mild kind of pullback, well, then we're most likely in an uptrend again. So this is going to be a very important zone, and obviously the bottom as well. And we got to see how price responds to these moving averages and support and resistance levels. And it's going to take time before I think it builds a base for a stronger push up. So I think that we're not going to have probably another update this week. We used to have 3 updates a week on cryptocurrencies. Because this turn is taking its time, I think that for the moment, one update a week is enough. But if there are any significant developments in the meantime, of course, we will make a occasional update in between. Now, the same thing what we see for Bitcoin is also valid for Ethereum versus the US dollar. Price has, the difference here is Bitcoin broke through the long-term moving average. Ethereum actually bounced with a bullish pin bar, the same kind of pin bar that Bitcoin had, but at a better spot because it still respects the long-term moving average. And now, again, the same price retesting the 21 EMA zone, and here too, wrong button, sorry about that. Here too, price basically making lower lows and lower highs. Less than Bitcoin, but still, we have this kind of pattern. It looks like an ABC zigzag. So all in all, Ethereum is less bearish than Bitcoin for the moment, but still this EMA zone could be a turning spot and price might retest this bottom. So if price fails to break it and in fact does not push through this level, this could be wave 1, 2, up for wave 3. So there are a couple of ideas that I have is bullish price action in this zone as price retests that bottom, and then a potential breakout to the upside. Or if it breaks out immediately, then I would be looking for a pullback towards these EMAs that are now resistance. They will become support in the future, and I would be looking for a bounce at the EMAs. All right. If we get, of course, a uptrend continuation, depends on your overall bias on cryptocurrencies as well. For the moment, though, the moving averages are still aligned. So from a technical point of view, if price gets above these moving averages, hooks back to them, there is a decent chance, on average, that price will continue with that push up, at least for one more move up to retest these tops. All right. So that's Ethereum. Ripple also had a very sturdy pullback, just like Bitcoin went a little bit below it. Same thing, a lot of lower lows and lower highs here, and again, at the 21 EMA zone, so it's pretty much the same kind of scenario here. Price will either break, pull back to the moving averages and bounce like Ethereum, or it could do, I should say, or it will hit this resistance zone, might make a retracement lower to test this bottom again, and then bounce, or make a lower low and then bounce, I would say. All right, so these are kind of the main scenarios for the moment. Moving averages here too are still bullishly aligned, although of course the 21 EMA is being dragged back to the 144, but all in all still aligned to the upside. So if price does manage to break above the 21 EMAs and not break, manages to stay above the long-term moving average, the perspective here from a technical point of view at least is still bullish. All right, let's take a look at some commodities here. Let's refresh this template and let's take a look at gold. This is the daily chart. So bullishly aligned, but price just broke below the 21 EMA. All right, so from this perspective, of course, there's always the chance for price to get back to the long-term moving average, as you can see here. And here, it acts kind of like a middle level in a way. So this could be now resistance for a move back to the long-term moving average. But that is not it, because look at that heavy resistance zone right here that price stopped at. So from this point of view, I wouldn't be surprised if price might even retest support levels here, or even deeper, and I'll show you with purple lines, all the way here perhaps. All right, so this is how deep that retracement can go. It could finish an A, B, C pattern, 5 waves up here, and then there could be another move up like this. So these purple zones could be very important for an uptrend continuation. But all in all, if you look at this price action, pretty choppy, pretty corrective. So when that upside could occur is difficult to tell. It could be years from now, right? Because look at this. This has been 4 years going sideways. We had a strong uptrend, sure, from 2007, 2006. I'm not sure. Let me check. This is the bulk of the uptrend really from 2006, indeed 2005 maybe, 2011. Strong correction between 2011 and 2013, right? And now going sideways basically. So, and now it's at the top of that resistance zone. So you can see why I think there's a good chance that price will bounce from this level. It has already done that, but why it could even continue lower to test, for instance, this trend line. All right, so I think for the moment, bearish pressure, but I'm not sure how deep this could go. We'll have to take it step by step. Silver, basically the same kind of scenario as gold, going sideways as well. So not much to say about it. It really could make a dip down to test lower support levels. All in all, if it stays above these support levels, though, eventually I would expect price to break above this resistance trend line and make a little bit of a bullish rally. Doesn't have to be that much. It could be just to retest this top, for instance, for the moment. With gold, it could be different. I mean, I'm not sure about the timing of things here, but if it does break this top, there is a good chance of price, I think getting up to these bottoms or these tops. At the first step, that could happen as a bullish breakout there. But once again, it is stuck in the sideways zone, so it would have to really break out with a good monthly candle before we might expect that. So timing is quite lengthy in what we could expect. And let's take a look now at the stock index, S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones, pretty much similar because they're following kind of the same kind of bearish fall, strong uptrend, big bearish fall. Now, I say big, if you look at this daily chart, it does look big. Obviously, on a monthly chart, it's less big, obviously, because look at the uptrend. So this is just a small retracement from that perspective. However, the price action is quite bearish, right? Is quite deep, the candle itself. And it has engulfed last month's January candle. So it will be interesting to see how this month's monthly candle closes, because if it closes near low, that would indicate that the bears were in control of a substantial large candle with a lot of volatility in that candle. We haven't seen such a candle maybe since the Great Recession, or maybe here in 2010. Not even that, no, really Great Recession. So that would be quite a hefty candle if we get that. But today's, of course, this month's candle is by far not finished as yet. We are not even halfway. So a lot of price action remaining. There were two candles that came close to being as bearish, but ultimately had a wick at the bottom here in 2015 and 16. There were two pretty sizable bearish candles, but ultimately wick, and this turned out to be a consolidation for more upside and a big rally, in fact, indeed. So we'll have to see. We're not sure whether this is just a retracement, the beginning of a triangle, or the beginning of maybe a bigger, pullback. Looking at the weekly chart, last week had a wick, and a double bottom basically on the daily chart. Therefore, not looking as bearish maybe as the week before, because that wick is indicating a little bit of a rally. So I think there could be some upside still to retest this 21 EMA. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if there we find another resistance zone to retest that bottom again. So I think they're going to be, bears and bulls are going to be challenging each other, and price might be very much stuck in a triangle in the next week. All right, that's what I'm expecting. And DAX is probably, German index here is probably roughly the same. Again, this month's candle is very important. Weekly candle, a wick. Daily candle, just a bit shy of double bottom, but you get the picture here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some triangle pattern here too. And but of course, if price breaks above these bottoms and the 21 EMA, then we might see uptrend continuation at least, and small pullback, and up it goes. Or if price starts to fall very sturdily from this zone and then builds a bear flag, there could be a continuation to the downside. So it definitely depends on what kind of patterns evolve and develop here. But my estimate would be, at this, with the available information we have now, is that we'll see price hit resistance, then move down, hit support, move up, hit resistance again, move down. I'm expecting basically a triangle for the moment, for this week. Whether that will be true, only time will tell. But considering the strong momentum, I think a period of volatility, I don't expect an uptrend continuation right away myself. All right, and neither do I necessarily expect it to, for the moment at least, to continue with this fall immediately. At least I expect some consolidation. All right, that's it for now. More free analysis and material, our ECS.start package you can find on the website elitecurrency.com. Right here you see the link. Wish you all great trading and talk to you soon. Cheers.